Hello, Morris class. It's Miss Baig here, and welcome to your final history lesson for this term. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of February 2021, and this is our lesson number 18. Our learning objective for today is, can I name constellations in the Northern Hemisphere? Can I learn constellations in the Northern Hemisphere? Well done. Okie dokie. Let's begin. So today we are going to be learning about different Northern Hemisphere constellations. So we're going to be learning about the history of them, how they are, what they are, but only in the Northern Hemisphere. As you can see at the top, this is the Southern Hemisphere. Can you see this very faint orange line? Let's make this a bit bigger so you could, oh, oopsie daisy, that wasn't what I wanted. Right, let's have a look. Oh, yes, there we go. So this is the northern side of the hemisphere. As you can see, it's got the N on the compass for north, and at the bottom we've got south. We are going to be looking at the constellations in the northern, okay, because in England we are in the northern side of the hemisphere. Okie dokie. So these are the constellations that if we, on a very starry night, if we look outside through our window, we will be able to see some sort of evidence of them, of their existence. Okay, what is a constellation? A constellation is a recognized pattern of stars in the night sky. The word is from the Latin constellatio, meaning a set of stars. So a constellation is a recognized pattern. So it's different stars in the sky that it's a bit like joining dot to dot, that when you join together, they make some kind of pattern. Okay. There are officially 88 recognized constellations in the sky. The astronomical patterns have a fascinating and long history, which we are going to be diving into in this lesson. Okay, 48 of the constellations are known as original, meaning they were talked about by the Greeks and most probably the Babylonians. So after the 15th century, the stars and their positions began to be recorded. There are major well-known constellations which can be seen from the Northern Hemisphere night sky. So in our side of the world, we should be able to see them if you know what you're looking for. We will be looking at a few on the next page, so sit tight and let's get into it. The first one, or the most famous one, is Orion. 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 So the constellation is also known as the Hunter, as it is associated with one in Greek mythology. It represents the mythical hunter Orion. So if I zoom this in, this one's probably a bit clearer to see than the other picture. So if I zoom this in, so it is believed that here is the body of the hunter. This is his arm, and this right here is his shield that he is holding. Okay, so this is probably the most famous one. Okie dokie. Next, we have Ursa Major. Ursa Major. So the largest northern constellation and third largest constellation in the whole sky, its brightest star forms the Plough and is one of the most recognizable shapes in the sky. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can have a look. There we go. So in America, they call this the Big Dipper, but in England or in the UK, we call it the Plough, because it symbolizes, if I turn this around, and then maybe you can see a little bit better. So it's also almost like in the past, farmers, they used to use a special, like not a vehicle, but a bit like a wheelbarrow, and it was called the Plough. So do remember that these constellations were seen thousands of years ago. Okay, so this is what the people from the UK thought that it not recognized, associated with. There you go, got my word out in the end. So it's called the Plough. The Plough. Well done. Okay, the third one that we are going to be looking at is called the Cassiopeia. 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 So located in the northern sky, it was named after Cassiopeia, the vain and boastful queen in Greek mythology. It is easily recognizable for the prominent W shape formed by its 5 brightest stars. So if I zoom this in, if I make it a bit bigger, so you can see that they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see that the 5 stars that it is joined by, or well, which is, it's not actually joined by because the stars are millions, not millions, but hundreds and thousands of miles away from each other. Can you see that these 5 brightest stars, if you connect the dots, it makes a W. Okay, so you never know, might look out your sky on a starry night and you might be seeing the Cassiopeia. Okay, and the last one that we are going to be looking at is called the Cygnus. Cygnus. So its name means the swan in Latin. The constellation is easy to find in the sky as it features a well-known shape known as the Northern Cross. Okay, so here it is right here. This is pretty clear to see, but I'll zoom you guys in a little bit more. So there we go. Okie dokie. Now, before I move on to your task, I would like you to talk to your teddy or tell the person in the room which one has been your favourite. So I'll just go back a little bit and then we can see, we'll have a little recap. Which one has been your favourite? Oops, what's happening there? Oops, not that one. Oops. Okay. Is it 1, Orion? Is it 2, Ursa Major? Is it Cassiopeia? Or is it Cygnus? I would like to say, I think my favourite is the Cassiopeia because it's easy to recognise and it's a shape that I'm familiar with. So I think if I were to look into the night sky, on a starry night sky, I could probably recognise this one because of the prominent bright stars, the 5 bright stars, and also because I would be looking for a W. It's easy to recognize. I think the most difficult one for me would definitely be the Ursa Major because there are several stars that join together to make this lovely plough. I have to check there to make this plough. So that would be really hard for me to recognize. Okay, Morris class. Now I'm going to explain your task. So what you are going to do is there's a few things that you need to do. 1, look up at the sky on a starry night and try making a familiar shape out of the stars that you see, okay? See if you can recognize any of the 4 constellations that we have gone through in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, secondly, this is only if you have black paper and a white colouring pencil or white paint, using a cotton bud on your black piece of paper, create a constellation for the white colouring pencil or paint to represent the stars, and then you can join them together. Thirdly, draw a constellation on a piece of paper, and just like we did in our art, where you drew the repeated pattern and then with a sharp pencil you pricked it through the styrofoam, do the exact same of your constellation, prick a hole and then go into a dark room and shine a torch through your paper. So pretend this is your paper, shine a torch through and you should be able to see the constellation and the light going through the hole onto like your wall, for example, a bit like a puppet show. So that is one of the things that you could also do. Please upload a picture of whatever you would like to do. So either look up at the stars in the sky, or if you've got black paper, it doesn't even have to be black paper. You could even do it on normal piece of paper. It doesn't matter. Or draw constellation and make sure you try the last one. I think that's going to be really cool. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining me, Morris class. I have enjoyed delivering our history lessons for this term. This was one of our last lessons. Next week, we will be starting geography, so geography of space. So stay tuned and I will see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye, Morris. Keep smiling.